that he's going to read for them as their attorney.
Mr. Mason, you can come forward and read the statement.
I think it would be easier for me to sit there if I can.
Okay, that's fine. All right, you may begin.
Your Honor, it's hard to be old and can't see and can't hear either, but it's, as you are aware, I was appointed by the court to act as a guardian ad litem for the children in this case, some 3 years ago. And I have an impact statement that has been written by the daughter, who's now 17 years of age. They've asked me to read this in accordance with the statute, and with that I will. I'm quoting verbatim from the writing. I want to start this off by saying the only reason I am not personally reading this statement to you all myself is because I simply do not ever want to be in a room with Daniel Drohan ever again. I feel as though there has been absolutely no justice served for my father or his family, including myself and my younger brother. It takes a lot for me to talk about these things and be so vulnerable in front of total strangers. So I please just ask that you all listen to me and please take my feelings into consideration. Since I was about 7 years old, I have endured insane amounts of trauma. This trauma all stems from the same thing, Danielle Drohan. And yes, I'm referring to her as her first name and maiden name because I feel as though she should not even have the privilege of having the same last name as me or my father. I refuse to call her mother because she was never a decent mother figure to me. There were a great deal of things I was not permitted to say in court when I was testifying, which I feel is absolutely insane. I still am unable to even scratch the mere surface of the trauma I am referring to. All I want is justice for my father. It breaks my heart into a million pieces over and over to hear people side with such an abusive, horrible person and then continue to bash on a dead man who isn't here to defend himself. Sure, my dad was no angel and definitely had faults, but he was the kindest, most caring person, and I'm sure the other people who had the chance to know him would vouch for that. He was so kind, gentle, and he never laid a hand on a single person in my family, not myself, Sawyer, or Danielle. I don't even remember him spanking me. My dad always advocated for love and acceptance. He loved everyone and treated everyone the way he wanted to be treated. He was a great man with great values and loved his family. He would never hit a woman. He took my brother and I to so many different ball games, always took me out on our father-daughter days, and he was always in a good mood. Him and I used to watch Saturday Night Live together every Saturday for 5 years straight. He took me and Sawyer to the movies all the time and made sure we were always happy, fed, and well taken care of. He always stood up for others. He always wanted to joke around and play whatever game or talk about literally anything. He loved to talk, people watch, and get to know people. He loved others, and everyone loved him. He was not a bad person. I am so angry about the way he has been portrayed, so extremely angry. He was the best dad I ever could have asked for. I remember at certain points, I would imagine Sawyer and I staying with him full time if my parents were to divorce. I have no regret in saying that, and I mean it wholeheartedly. It absolutely breaks my heart into a million pieces that Sawyer has to grow up without him. I do too, but Sawyer no longer has the amazing dad to show him how to grow up and be just like him. We are both extremely heartbroken to have our pops ripped from our world so suddenly and to have been lied to about it for so long after. We miss our pops so much. I would do anything to bring him back. Someone took him from our world and ruined our childhoods, let alone the start of our lives and futures. We have endured so much since he was taken from us that it has been difficult to process a natural grieving process. We have suffered such incredible amounts of trauma to the point where our bodies have reacted to it. I have had nightmares for the past 3 years about Danielle, and more specifically about certain decisions she has made. Sawyer has nightmares too. I have developed a near fear of being murdered. I have had phases of extreme paranoia, and I've gone through phases where I've been so depressed over the situation that I was unable to take care of myself for a long time. I've lost a great amount of weight, and for a while, I would get extremely triggered and break down over someone even saying the words dad or parent. I've had an entire school gossip about me and my situation, as most of Winter Park. People recognize my last name and often already know about this so-called news story that is my life. I lost everything at once, and it was broadcasted to the world, and I have always given the short end of the stick. I am just now getting to be okay again, but this reopened so many wounds that I genuinely thought could start to heal from. You may all be fooled by the incredible mask this woman presents to you all, but I am not. My father did not get away in time. I am not worried. I am so worried for my brother. Judge, please make some kind of a stipulation that Danielle not be allowed near myself and Sawyer, so we don't have to be re-traumatized like we have been already. We're both settled into our new life without our dad, and we want to be left in peace. It took us a while to get here, and we deserve that at the very least.
Thank you very much.
I can leave.
Mr. Wiggins.
State has no further evidence, Your Honor.
Ms. Holman, do you have any witnesses you wish to call on behalf of the client?
No, Your Honor.
So is there any further argument for either side?
As it relates to state's recommendation or other issues?
State's recommendation.
Yes, Your Honor. The court has found that it does have discretion to impose a probationary sentence, and the state of Florida believes that that would be warranted in this case, specifically because, and I won't rehash the facts and circumstances that led to the conviction, but as the court is aware, this defendant was on probation at the time that she committed this offense. And it also is established through the record evidence that alcohol was involved in a contributing factor to the circumstances and facts of the conviction. I believe that the conduct that she was on probation for, the facts and circumstances of the crime with which she was committed, should counsel this court to see it prudent to place this defendant on a period of supervision, which includes conditions related to mental health evaluation and treatment, substance abuse evaluation and treatment, and a no alcohol condition. You have also heard the request of Jaden and on behalf of her brother Sawyer for additional condition of probation. I believe that that is warranted and justified in this case.
Ms. Conlon?
This is a first-time felony conviction. Ms. Redlick is already going to have a difficult time finding a place to live and finding employment, and has greatly affected her already because of this. I would like to point out that the tampering with evidence is not a victim crime. Marcy's Law and its implications do not apply in this case. I would also like to address something that was stated in the letter, and I have case law. Well, one of the requests that was stated by Jaden Redlick is that she is asking the court to impose as a special condition of probation that Ms. Redlick not have contact with Jaden or Sawyer Redlick. And in regards to that, I would like to present the court with Spano v. State, which is 60 Southern 3rd, 1108, 4th DCA case, 2011. May I approach?
Yes, ma'am. I don't intend on making, I don't intend on no contact provision condition.
In light of that, then I will not need to discuss the case law on that issue. The state said that alcohol was a contributing factor in this case, and that is not an accurate statement of what was presented at trial. What was presented at trial was that Mr. Redlick was the one who was drinking that night. And as far as what this offense was, you had medical record, you had a doctor who testified that her alcohol level was consistent with someone who had consumed no alcohol. So imposing alcohol conditions would not be appropriate. I also wanted to address some of the things that were stated by Jaden Redlick in our memorandum of law on page 4. I discussed some improper considerations.
Hold on just a second.
Okay.
I'm there.
All right, page 4, it's, page 4, subsection 4, improper considerations. And one of the improper considerations would be acquitted conduct. And I bring that up because it says conduct for which a person has been acquitted cannot be a basis for departure from the guidelines. And I think what the letter, as stated, it was really focused on acquitted conduct and the impact of what that acquitted conduct had on Jaden Redlick. So I would ask that the court not consider that, since she was acquitted and she should not be punished for something that she's been acquitted of. Now, the reason why we don't think that Ms. Redlick should get any additional sanctions, including probation. First of all, the ultimate goal of this justice system is punishment. Ms. Redlick has spent 3 years and 4 months in jail. That is at least, she's 2.5 times more than what the legislature intended for someone in her position because she scores less than 22 points. When we're asking for time served, what that means is, it came at a price and it came at a cost to her. And this cost was that she missed 3 Christmases, she missed her kids' birthdays, she missed their school activities, she missed being around them. So that is the cost of what 3 years and 4 months did. Now, the secondary goals of the justice system are rehabilitation and deterrence. So while she was in jail for those 1,300 days, you can see that she has managed to grow as a person. It is shown by the letters that were provided to the court. We have Yvette Gonzalez, the senior chaplain, who said in her letter that Ms. Redlick participated in the faith-based program, which addresses issues such as anger management, conflict resolution, codependency, unhealthy relationships, thinking errors, as well as several religious courses. As part of this program, Ms. Redlick regularly meets with specialized professionals, counselors on a weekly basis, as well as with chaplains, expanding the network of support that she already has. We are very glad that she has taken advantage of the opportunity presented to her by our program. An evaluation of her performance places her well above meeting her goals, as she has gone from being a disciple to actually teaching others. We are confident that Ms. Redlick will be an asset to whatever community she becomes a part of. You have a letter from Laura Cassidy. She's a volunteer at the Orange County Jail and a part of the Orange County Jail's ministry. And she writes, I believe that our faith-based program has helped her, Danielle Redlick, to put her life and her choices into perspective. What I clearly know is that Danielle is not the same person today as she was in January 2019. She has been humbled in her 3.5 years in jail. She has dreams of helping other women and ministering to the less fortunate. She hopes to take her hard-earned life lessons to women in need. During our weekly sessions, Danielle would reflect on her past and speak about how she has changed and grown. She has lost precious years of her life and has mourned her past behavior and choices. She has vowed to me and to God that she will never return to that lost person she was. Her head and her heart are aligned with her strong faith, something that has been missing in her previous life. I believe that Danielle has already paid a steep price and that she is eager and ready to begin a new life as a reformed woman. We have a letter from Carol Drohan, who is Ms. Redlick's aunt. She says, finally, I see Danielle continuing in this way, and I have no doubt whatsoever that she would be an asset to society. She is the type of person who learns from her mistakes and will be extraordinarily helpful to others for what I'm seeing and hearing from her with regard to sentiment and future aspirations. I look forward to seeing what she does and hope that you will strongly consider a time-served sentence, as this will certainly aid her path in accomplishing good things with the wisdoms and faith she has accrued in all of this, as well as restoration with her children. You have another letter from Dr. Evora Baker, who has known Danielle Redlick since 1988 when they started high school together. She writes, as spiritual sisters, we kept each other uplifted and share knowledge about the ways God uses us to positively affect the lives of others. Ms. Redlick shared her experiences as a mom or mentor to several of the young women who are also incarcerated. It is her love for humanity and desire to help others make positive changes in their lives that I admire most about Ms. Redlick. I am confident that she will do all that she can to work in a position that will allow her to help others as they attempt to overcome challenges in their lives. You have a letter from Diane Smith. I have known Danielle Redlick for over a year in the capacity as a teacher and counselor. She attended my weekly classes in the Christian dorm in the Female Detention Center, Orange County Corrections, Orlando, Florida. We also met frequently for individual counseling sessions. I must say that from our first meeting, she impressed me as a well-balanced and intelligent person. She was understandably immersed in her personal and legal complications. As she grew spiritually, she began to share her faith and hope. She emerged as a leader, respected and sought out by her fellow peers. She was caring and effective as she befriended those in need. In closing, I found Danielle to be responsible and motivated with a strong resolve to help others. And you have Cheryl Cable, who is a volunteer at the Orange County Jail, who says, a few years ago, I met Danielle in the faith-based program H dorm and later the B dorm where I was teaching. Danielle was quiet yet very focused. always there for the class and ready to learn. During the years that she was at the Orange County Jail, I saw her help many women. She never spoke about what she was going through, but had a genuine concern for others in the dorm. She was there for them. Amazing. I am thankful I met Danielle. Thank you for your time. As the court can see, during this time that she was awaiting trial for those 3 years and 4 months, she has used that to grow, and she has impacted people. Now, the unique circumstances, the final goal of the justice system is deterrence. Now, the unique circumstances of this crime are not likely to be repeated. It was done at a time where there was a traumatic event, and it was in reaction to that traumatic event. It's not like it's a crime where the court should impose probation along with some kind of treatment, because you're trying to make sure that that treatment doesn't cause that offender to repeat the crime, such as, for example, if someone had a drug addiction and they stole items, you would want to treat that addiction so that they would be deterred from committing that same crime in the future. Here, you don't have that. You don't have, addiction or mental health issues. This was a traumatic event that happened, and for those reasons, we don't believe that this is something that is likely to repeat again. We'd ask the court for time served in light of the fact that she has already served more jail time than a normal defendant would on a first-time felony.
Ms. Redlick, is there anything you wish to say to the court?
No, Your Honor.
Come to the podium, please.
You said this from the time, right?
And you stated you did not wish to make a statement, correct?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Redlick, you testified at trial that you killed your husband, and the jury has found you not guilty of that conduct, and I will not sentence you based upon that conduct. You further testified that after you killed him, you were scared and didn't know what to do, and you froze. And the evidence shows that there were over 10 hours where you waited before you called 911 and gave varying stories as to the cause of Mr. Redlick's death. But you stand before me today for your conduct during the time between Mr. Redlick's passing and the 911 call made on the next day. And it is that conduct for which you are going to be sentenced today. According to the crime scene pictures and evidence, bloodstains were smeared throughout the home. You used bleach and other cleaners to clean what looked like a horror scene. Crime scene photographs also showed where you left the cleanup towels and a bucket of colored water. The blood pattern expert testified that typically blood patterns could tell a story or explain the circumstances surrounding a homicide crime scene like this, but not so in your case. The expert also testified that as a result of your conduct, it was virtually impossible to determine the exact circumstances surrounding Michael Redlick's death. The scene was tampered with so much so that the blood evidence was of little to no value to determine what happened between the night of January 11th of 2019 and mid-morning, January 12th of 2019. Conduct for which the jury convicted you, tampering with physical evidence, deserves more prison time than you have served. But the law does not allow me to do that, and I will not sentence you to a prison sentence. You have already been adjudicated guilty of count 2, tampering with physical evidence. And so for that conduct, I will sentence you to 364 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 364 days time served. That's going to be followed by a period of 12 months of probation. You will report to probation by 3 p.m. The office is on the 7th floor beside courtroom 7B. Within the first 30 days, you will sign up for and you will submit to a mental health evaluation and complete the evaluation and any required treatment within 12 months.